We talked about counterfeit parts being a problem for Toyota, Lexus, and many other manufacturers. But in today, I will give you a warning and kind of heads up on original part problems. This is a story of a third-generation Prius that the owner made a grave mistake ordering parts, original parts from a good source, and then got them into a situation, which is the story I will share with you in this video, so you will be aware right after this. This particular 2010 Toyota Prius, that's the third generation Prius, made an appointment, came in the shop for two concerns. The first one was when they drive at steady speed with the engine running, the car starts shaking, the whole engine starts rattling and misfiring. This is actually a common problem with the EGR and the intake manifold. I will leave this video for you to check out if you have that particular issue. But the second concern was every time you make a U-turn, like you're turning, making a sharp U-turn and accelerating a little bit, if your speed is right around 10 miles an hour, the traction control kicks in so much that it almost brings the car to a complete halt. Now, initially when we got this car, I was in the shop, busy, I didn't get a chance to talk to the customer. They dropped off the car, they left, and then I got to it. Go drive it, yep, needs an EGR and everything, and that other video will explain how we did that. But then the traction control issue. Usually when you have erroneous activation of the traction control, you either have bad speed sensor, something with the signal, something is going on with the speed sensor signal from each wheel. Pretty simple diagnosis, hook up a scan tool, check the speed readings of each individual wheel. You'll see one of them all of a sudden drop to 0, needs a speed sensor, possibly a bad wire. You start investigating that. It's pretty simple. But this particular car, on the first test drive, everything is fine. It's perfectly fine. Start looking into maybe a yard rate sensor is miscalibrated or reading wrong. No, everything is perfectly operating exactly as it should. No codes, no issues. So that was the point of a puzzle. Like, what's going on with this car? Why are we having this activation that absolutely makes no sense? Only on sharp turns. It has to be something with the speed sensors. Many hours of driving and vertigo because we're going in circles trying to make it happen. I found nothing. And I was getting to a point where it's like, this is a challenge. Like, what do we do here? What do we tell this customer? I noticed when we were investigating that the brake actuator and pump were actually replaced. They were brand new parts. And I verified that they were original. They were indeed original parts. So I called the customer to ask them what happened here and what's going on. Give me kind of the backstory to this. When did this issue start? And that's something very important with diagnosis, because sometimes problems are induced by an event, accident, some work on the car, we changed the tires, all of a sudden my gas mileage went down. You got to know this fact to know if this is a random occurrence or something specific that happens. Well, here's what happened with this car. Here's the story from the customer. They had some ABS codes for an internal leak. It's a very common problem with third generation Prius. So they needed to replace the pump and the actuator. They had their friend, who is an Infinity master mechanic, works out of their garage, not a Toyota specialist, but again, this job is not really super involved, super difficult to swap them out. The customer bought their own parts online from a dealership, brought them to this mechanic. They did the job, and then right after this, the initial problem was gone with the internal leak in the codes, but now this problem came about, and the other mechanics spent 2 weeks looking into this car, couldn't find anything. Basically, they were pulling their hairs out, which I was starting to do that because nothing makes sense here. And I applaud that mechanic because they actually stood by their work and at least tried to do until they got to a point where I am not a Toyota specialist, something is off here. But here's what we ended up finding. And this is where you gotta be really careful. I will show you a little screen demonstration here. We're gonna go to this website, which is parts.toyota.com. I will look up a 2010 Toyota Prius without entering the VIN number. Brake actuator, or master cylinder they call it in the parts catalog. As you can see here, here's that part. But wait, if you scroll a little bit down, there's another part. This is where parts are, they're problems. You have to be careful. You must enter your VIN number when you get parts. It is a must. any website that does not allow you to enter a VIN number when you're buying original parts, do not use it. If you're in doubt, call your local dealership. Yes, if you are a parts guy watching this video, sorry, many folks will start calling you, taking up your time, then buying it online somewhere else, but you are paid to work. So I guess it doesn't affect your day too much. The problem that happened here is the customer assumed that this was the right part. And they saw it on the website, it's a legit source, it's an original part. But here's a little difference between this number and this number. The first number, which is the one they bought, is meant for a base model Prius that has 15-inch wheels, that does not have any of the safety system and the advanced EBD and whatnot. It's a base model. This other part number is meant for a Prius 5 specifically, the only one that has 17-inch wheels and all the safety, like the full option one. Well, when the customer bought the one from the base model and put it in the Prius 5, which is the fully loaded one, 17-inch wheels, the computer programming is not the same. This is not the same unit. Physically, it is the same, but internally, programming-wise, because this has a computer in it, it's not. And that was the problem. Can you believe that? And the biggest thing is, when I talked to the customer, they were very upset. And I understand this was not a happy conversation for me with this customer because, sir, there is no other nice way to say this. You actually caused this problem, not your mechanic, not myself, not anyone else. Unfortunately, you made this mistake. And now the only way to fix this is to remedy this mistake. And here's their response was like, well, how come the mechanic didn't see this was the wrong part? Here's the thing about 99.9% of mechanics. You hand them a part, they will use it because you're bringing that part, you're responsible for it. And even mechanics that work in shops that supply the parts, here's the standard operating code of mechanics. You get me a part, I'm going to take the old part, put it here, put the new part next to it, look at everything. If everything looks the same, where it mounts, where the connectors are, where the lines are in the case of this master cylinder actuator, if it's the same, then it's the correct part. They're not going to go checking part numbers. And here's the tricky thing about part numbers. Sometimes the original unit will have a completely different part number than the replacement one. So it's not common practice for mechanics to start checking part numbers, unless you're a shop owner mechanic, which is myself. I told the customer, send me the original receipt or read me the number that you got from the part you bought, just to be sure. It was the wrong part. You got to be really careful, because here's what happened with this customer now, because they asked me also, is their mechanic at fault? I'm like, honestly, I will tell you the truth as it is. I don't think your mechanic did anything wrong. He plugged the system right. I double-checked everything that he did. He did everything right. I mean, props to this person. I probably will never know who they are, but God bless you, because you did things well. No connectors was left just unplugged and harnessed. Everything was very clean. This is a very good mechanic that did this job. But unfortunately, the customer got the wrong part. Folks, be extremely careful with parts. When you're buying important parts, big parts like this, VIN number, double check. Pick up the phone and call the dealership, because Toyota parts are really tricky to get. And other manufacturers can be like that too. But Toyota especially, in my experience, their parts are tricky. Their parts catalog is not very DIY friendly. You have to be someone used to working with it. There's all kinds of markings, and if you have this mark, you need this part. If you have this, it's very confusing. Be careful. Call a dealership, because the dealership sometimes will even tell you, we need a number or a marking off of the old part to get you the right one. So this is, I hope nobody else goes in the situation that this customer went through. I feel really bad for them. But unfortunately, in that case, the brand new part they bought, they cannot return because they've already used it. It has brake fluid in it. No dealership will take it back. And they're right. I understand that. They will have to get this job done all over again. They're now out almost $700 for this part. They have to buy another one for another $700, install it, so they would get this problem, which, by the way, is a little bit of a safety concern, because you're trying to make a turn, there are cars coming, and this thing just slams on the brakes. Now you're stopped in the middle of the street. be very careful with parts, folks. Not only counterfeit. Counterfeit, to me, should be very obvious where you're buying the parts from. But even with original parts, do your research. It's kind of like measure twice, cut once. Don't measure once and cut 3 times. The same thing with parts. Do your research. Make sure your part is right before you buy it. And more importantly, even after you buy it, you can return parts. But once you open the box, your chances drop. Once you install it in the car, your chances are over of returning it. That's how parts business works. Folks, I hope none of you go into this situation. I really feel bad for that customer. And they ended up taking the car as it is. We actually did not do the repair. I gave him an estimate. He was thinking about buying the right part, taking it to his mechanic, because his mechanic is not a shop. Obviously, there are labor charges less. He's working out of his garage. He doesn't have an overhead and all this. So I'm thinking that's the way he's going to go with it. But it was a very unfortunate situation that I don't want you to go through now that we have shared with you this story. Folks, I hope this video was helpful and informative. I hope you learned something new. If you like it, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing to the channel. Check out some of my other videos. Until the next video, folks, may the Lord bless you and keep you, and you have yourself a wonderful day.